The Bible is the infallible, inspired Word of God, and it is an instruction book for life. So I love to open it up and get my inspiration from God. And today we're in 2 Kings chapter 2. From there, Elisha went up to Bethel. As he was walking along the road, some boys came out of the town and jeered at him. "Get out of here, Baldy," they said. "Get out of here, Baldy." I guess he was bald. I'm sure he told the kids, "Listen, it's not nice to tease people. We need to love each other," and show them an example, right? Let's read on. He turned around, looked at them, and called down a curse on them in the name of the Lord. Then 2 bears came out of the woods and mauled 42 of the boys. So you have so much ego that you have some kids teasing you that you have to ask God to murder them with bears, and he does? You got an ego problem. Actually, I got a neighborhood kid.
To understand what was going on in this story, we have to ask ourselves a couple of questions. What did these boys mean by their statement? How old were they? How many were they? How did they know about Elisha, that his master had been taken up? How did they organize themselves? Was this something planned or it was impromptu? Who was Elisha to this community? Where did these boys come from? Now, to understand this, let's imagine 2 scenarios. The first being, let's assume that these were a group of about 13-year-olds. Now, if this was the case, they had to be set up by someone, because a 13-year-old wouldn't even know what that statement meant, that "go up, you Baldy." A 13-year-old wouldn't know what that statement meant. This statement was a challenge to Elisha's prophetic authority. They were saying by that statement, "Your master was taken up. Can you also go up like he did?" So these children were collected from their parents by someone and told what to say and told who to attack. If their parents consented to this, then this was comparable to sending your child to a war zone. They were going to get hurt. This scenario with the 13-year-olds is even more unlikely, because whoever organized these boys must have had the power to know the future, that Elisha was going to pass by their town. So if you imagine this to be a group of impressionable 13-year-olds, the story doesn't make much sense. Now let's imagine in the second scenario that these were boys of about 17-year-olds. These were boys who knew exactly what they were doing. They knew who Elisha was, what was going on in his life, what he was capable of. So to understand this story, we have to focus on verse 21, where Elisha is seen purifying a spring of water that was causing miscarriages and death. Now when you mock Elisha out of your city or town, which has death occurring in it, knowing that he could very well stop it, this is what you're really saying, that we are comfortable with death living in our city. Now imagine the people in Jericho had chased and jeered Elisha, a representative of God, out of their city, keeping in mind that there was death happening within their town and Elisha could stop it. This would only have meant that they were comfortable living with death in their city. Now, since actions speak louder than words, these boys knew what they were saying, but unfortunately they didn't understand that their actions were literally asking for death. Thanks for watching.